Why, thank you, Go Cinco 5. Thank you for doing such an outstanding job today with our theme. And fantastic job, Agent Camp. So can we give them another round of applause? Good morning, Asian Camp.
Good morning.
Or as we say in Superhero Land, aloha. This morning our theme is...
Oh no,
Yeah.
So I think that each of you can guess what the topic theme is for today. So before I start, let me introduce myself. And I need Chad's help, as you would find on my superhero trading card. So for you marvelous action, this is my bio for Super Big L. My mission is to be a faithful citizen of God's creation, to serve and pass on the love of God to those who believe and are in need of hope. My superpowers are that I am flexible, but not bendy Chinese acrobat kind of flexible, but willing to adapt to any kinds of changes. I have a creative mind, but I cannot read your mind. But I always have fresh new ideas. And I like to talk at the speed of light. And I love to make new friends, and I'm very sociable. These are my allies. The Peace with Justice League. Reverend Kathleen, Reverend Latoy, Reverend Dave, and Reverend Derek. The marvelous Action Asian Camp DTs, counselors, and campers. The United Methodist Church. And the Big G.O.D., aka the Big God, Big Boss. My weaknesses and adversaries are the evil television addict. The evil television addict always tries to tempt me from doing the work of God. And I can sit in front of the evil television addict all day long if I could. The master procrastinator can gain control of mind impulses, which forces superheroes to do everything at the last minute, even sermons. And the worst and the most evil and conniving, Jack in the Box. His sourdough breakfast jacks are so bad, yet so good. But my alter ego is the mild-mannered and somewhat normal Allison Mark, Minister of Community and Young Adult Outreach at Buena Vista United Methodist Church. Thank you, Chad. This week we've talked a lot about how we are our own superheroes, and we are powered to go out into the world and to spread the love of God. So as Reverend Dave said on Faster Than a Speeding Bullet, More Powerful Than a Locomotive on Monday, we are all anointed, and we are called by God. On With Great Power Comes
great responsibility.
Tuesday, Reverend Matoy talked to us about using the power and privileges that God has blessed us with, and to use them responsibly, and encourage each of us to find the right relationship with God. This morning's theme worship today is...
Oh no, there's light.
And so what does this mean? Well, let me take these off because these are bunching.
You never said that.
You said So, whose greatest weakness was kryptonite?
Superman.
And with all of the superheroes that we've grown up with, they all have weaknesses or obstacles that affect their powers. So let's test your knowledge, okay? So if you know this, you can call it out. So I'm looking for superhero weaknesses, okay? What was Spider-Man's weakness? What? Emotions, very good. And his sense of responsibility. And someone else did other things? Oh, and Mary Jane. it only works if a man ties her up. Alright, how about Batman? We saw Dale do Batman. His parents? Okay, so what was with his parents?
He fell into the hole.
Wow. Personal issues, he is also non-human. So, and he had his daddy issues today as well. What about Rogue? She can't touch anybody. She can't feel the touch of anybody else. And she can't make out with anybody. How about Mr. Fantastic? I know Fantastic Four came out this summer, so you guys should know this one. So the environment, superheated, temperature extremes, high gravity, and the girl. Captain America.
Shield.
And he's also human. His shield is a weakness?
Without his shield.
Without his shield, he's powerless because he's a human, and it's his morals and his beliefs. So he doesn't believe in killing or allowing anybody to be killed. So he also has great morals and beliefs, and so when he's battling evil villains, he has to deal with that. But as I was doing my homework on superheroes in the Marvel Universe, the heroes' weaknesses also tended to fall on their humanity. They were also human. Wolverine had his temper, Jean Grey had her split personality disorder, and Spider-Man just wanted to be an average guy. And then there are those who are the really famous superheroes of the Bible. Oh! Who remembers the story of Samson? Anybody remembers the story of Samson? For those of you who remember the story, yeah, what were his superpowers?
Super strong.
Good, you guys remember. He was super strong. As long as he didn't or drink alcohol. And there was one more thing that distracted him that was a weakness. Delilah. And then there was another superhero whose weakness was another woman. And he was a great, powerful leader, superhero. Does anybody remember? King David, very good. I think there might be a feminist sermon in here for another day, for those of you who are all these women and being the lures. But then there were also those guys who performed miracles. So who could be some of those? Jesus! Yes. And another one of them being... And what was Moses' issue about not wanting to be the leader? Our group, we talked about this, that a lot of biblical scholars have speculated that the reason why Moses didn't want to talk and Aaron was sent was that he had some kind of speech problem, like a speech impediment. He might have stuttered, he might have had a lisp, but he didn't want to talk to the Israelite people. And then there was also, who was the first person you guys said? Super Jesus, exactly. His weaknesses were very similar to the rest. It was his humanity that left him very vulnerable. And in weakness, we are often left vulnerable because we often think that we cannot do the job. But today's scripture gives us another way to look at our own personal weaknesses. Whether it being not too coordinated in athletics or dancing, or maybe feeling inadequate or self-conscious about yourself, not being smart enough or good-looking enough or whatever it is, these are not necessarily weaknesses. I consider them growing edges. And it's a better word to describe them, because God gives us opportunities to make the changes happen.